Multiplying and factoring algebraic expressions. Factoring quadratics. Factor ax squared plus bx plus c. We look for two numbers that multiply to a and two numbers that multiply to c. Once you have those numbers, we need to put them in the form mx plus p times nx plus q, where mn multiply together to get a, pq multiply together to get c, and np plus mq is equal to b. As an example, x squared plus 6x plus 5, we see that our a is 1, which means our m and n are both going to be 1 as well. And our c is equal to 5. So we want two numbers that multiply together to give 5, but add together to get -6. Those numbers are -5 and -1. So our factors here are x minus 5 and x minus 1. Similarly, if we have 2x squared minus x minus 10, we need two numbers that multiply together to get 2. In this case, that'll be 2 and 1. We also need two numbers that multiply together to get -10. That would be -1 and 10, 1 and -10, 2 and -5, or -2 and 5. Here, if you look at what combination of m, n, p, and q give np plus nq equal to -1, we get 2x minus 5 times x plus 2. In examples like this, if you know that 2 and 1 are the coefficients in front of the x, then you can figure out the coefficients at the end of the expression by fiddling around a little bit with it. Lastly, we have 6x squared plus 5x plus 1. Two numbers that multiply together to give 6 are either going to be 1 and 6 or 3 and 2. Numbers that multiply together to give 1 are going to be either +1 times +1 or -1 times -1. We do a little fiddling, we get 3x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 will multiply together to give you 6x squared plus 5x plus 1. And we can use factoring to help solve equations. If an equation factors and that product is equal to 0, then one of the factors has to be equal to 0. So for example, going back to x squared minus 6x plus 5, if that's equal to 0, then we know that x minus 5 times x minus 1 has to equal 0. Well, if x minus 5 equals 0, then x has to be 5. If x minus 1 equals 0, then x has to be 1. Similarly, if we've got an equation like x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0, you need two numbers that multiply to give you -15, but add to +2. So that'll be +5 and -3. So we get x minus 3 times x plus 5 equals 0. In this case, x will have to be 3 or -5. Finally, something like x squared minus x equals 0, we can simply factor out a common factor. In this case, x squared and x both have a factor of x, so the x comes out front, and we're left with x minus 1 equals 0. So either x is equal to 0 or x minus 1 is equal to 0. If x minus 1 is equal to 0, then x is equal to 1, and of course, x could also equal to 0.